Hey guys, how are you? First thing, how are you doing? Are you having a nice week or is it one of those shitty weeks? Let me know in the comments. And second, we're back with a new video on how to travel the world for cheap, for free, almost free sometimes. So yeah, let's get into the video. Alright, so first let's talk about other styles of traveling. So far I've talked a lot about more traditional ways of traveling, like renting an Airbnb or going to a hotel. But today I want to talk about two other ways to travel. The first one is camping. Contrary to popular belief, camping can actually be expensive, really expensive, sometimes as expensive as going to like a nice hotel, but it still remains like one of the cheapest ways to travel and one of the cheapest accommodation that you can get in some cases when it's not like one of these, you know, very fancy campgrounds. So if you are tight on a budget, I would definitely look into that. My family traveled a lot and we went to campgrounds a lot and it was always so much fun. I loved it. So, you know, I think it's really cool. And usually even the cheap campgrounds have like a pool. So it's really cool. I just like camping and I think it's a great option if you're on a budget and you don't want to spend too much on accommodation. Now, the second other way of traveling is to actually exchange your home. So there is a website out there called Home Exchange that allows you to exchange your home. Crazy name, you know, woo! So it allows you pretty much to trade your place for someone else's place. So the way it works is that it's free to join, but you have 130 euros kind of like subscription per year that covers any damages or any cancellation. So there is a little bit of investment there, but the concept is pretty cool. So when you join, you actually get what they call guest points in your like guest point bank, I guess. And you have several options as to how you want to go about it. So you can either spend your guest points for another accommodation, or you can rent your own place for other people, and every time you rent your own place to other people, then you earn more guest points, which you can then trade for someone else's place for your own traveling. So it's a really cool way to have access to accommodations without having to spend a lot of money. What's really cool is that it's going to give you access to accommodations that people actually live in, so it's going to be well equipped. And as I always say, saving money on food is very, very efficient. So when you're traveling, you want to be saving money on food and cook your own meals. So when you rent, you know, a place through Home Exchange, it is almost 100% certain that the kitchen's going to be well equipped, so you can cook all the meals that you want. Another thing that's really cool is that you can use it if you have like a big family and you need multiple rooms. It might be a bit easier to find accommodations on there than, you know, having to rent several hotel rooms at a hotel. That might be also a lot cheaper. And another advantage of Home Exchange is that it gives you access to accommodations in locations where you wouldn't usually find Airbnbs or hotels. So you get access to better locations that are maybe closer to things that you want to do, which can then save you a lot of money on transportation as well. So, you know, it's kind of like one is leading to another. So it's really cool and it can save you a lot of money. Now on to the second part of this video, which has to do with traveling and working. A great way to travel the world for cheap is to actually make money while you're traveling. So in this part of the video, we're going to be talking about working, obviously. So it's going to be a bit less like a vacation because you're working, you're not just like resting for 2 weeks. But if you are looking, you know, into traveling the world, wanting to discover new places, but you don't have the money to really just do that as a vacation, then you can work at your destination. So we're gonna look at a few options that you have. So let's get into that. So obviously the first one is to be more or less an expat like I am. So pretty much you're moving to a country for a few months to a few years and you're going to be working there. So you can either be a midterm or long-term expat like I am and you have like a long-term working contract. So you're kind of more of like an established, you know, resident there, or you can be moving to a country for just a few months and then moving to a new country for another few months and just do jobs that are just like more short term with like usually a higher turnover, like being a waiter, working at a hostel, you know, all these type of work that are more like seasonal. These are like good options if you're trying to work at a destination but you don't want to really establish yourself there. So then it's more like up to you and what you want, but both allow you to, you know, really experience the place, really live the life there, and it's a different experience than being on a vacation, but it's still really cool. And so just like you can be an expat or you can be working for a few months in a country, there are also more structured kind of types of experience where you can both travel and work. And the first one we're going to cover today is Wwoofing, which stands for Worldwide Opportunities on Organic Farms, which is pretty much where you're going to go and work for a farm in exchange of a cultural and educational experience. So I think that would be, I've never done it myself, but I think that would be really fitting for someone who wants to learn about the people at, you know, their destination, who really wants to learn about the culture, who really wants to be part of that life. That would be really cool. And obviously, you know, you're working there, and so you get an accommodation and etc. So you're not wasting money, you're not spending any money, but you're making money. The second option that you have is being an au pair. So pretty much what an au pair is someone that goes into a different country and you're going to be living with a family and you take care of their kids, and sometimes you also have to do things around the house like laundry or cleaning the kitchen, whatever, you know. It really depends on the family that you're staying with. So being an au pair is really cool. Usually people do it because they want to learn the language. So like, for example, a lot of French people are au pairs in the US because we want to learn how to speak English. And so you stay with the family. Sometimes it's only for a few months, sometimes it's for a year, sometimes you can renew the 1-year contract. So it really depends kind of what you want, but it's really cool because usually when you're an au pair, you always get a day off during the week, so you can kind of do whatever you want that day. So let's say you're in a family in like California, then you can go to the beach, or you can kind of like visit California that day. But also because you're staying with a family, there's a good chance that they're going to take you around, and so you're going to get to experience wherever it is that you are from a local's perspective, and they're going to take you to places that maybe as a tourist you wouldn't have gone to, but you get that chance because you're an au pair. So it's really cool. I know a few au pairs, and they also got the chance to go on like the yearly vacation of the family with the family. So sometimes to like really nice places. So it is a great like opportunity to travel while still learning a language and, you know, kind of building your skills as well, which then you can put on your CV. So you're like traveling, making money, but also building your experience. So it's kind of like a great deal overall. So I would definitely look into this, especially if you're over 18. That's a great way to travel for cheap, travel a lot, also make money, and also build your experience. Obviously, and I realize I forgot to mention this, as an au pair you don't have to pay for accommodation. You usually don't have to pay for food either. It's all just included in exchange of your services, and you also get paid on top of it. Now, another way you can travel for cheap is to use the Workaway system. So as its name says, you know, it's a system that allows you to work away from home. So I'll put a link in the description so you can check it out, but I was reading kind of like the conditions, and so what I read is that you have to work around 4 to 5 hours per day, 5 days a week, so you get 2 days off. And that's really cool because obviously you can travel during those days, and in exchange you get accommodation and food for free. So you're pretty much staying with a family, and you have to do things like around the house, or maybe like take care of the garden. Like, it really depends. There's tons of different opportunities. I was looking, you know, I was scrolling through the different offers, and there's tons of different ones in tons of different countries. So it can be really cool if you want to travel and work at the same time, and you also get 2 days off, you know, a week. So that really allows you to travel. Obviously, because you're going to be around locals, they can also, you know, show you places that as a tourist you might have not found. So that's also really cool. And the other thing is that for certain types of job you get paid on top of the free accommodation and free food. So that can also be really cool. So yeah, these are some of the ways that you can travel for cheap and free. So I hope that was helpful. You can check out part 1 and part 2 of this series. I'll put them in the description. And if you have any, you know, questions or comments, you can either leave them in the comments or you can DM me on Instagram. That's no problem at all. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, hope you learned something, and I'll see you next week for a new video. Bye!